Today we're going to cover the transmission setup that I have behind my LS Swapped S10. But first of all, welcome back to the channel for everybody that's been following along. If this is your first time on the channel, please go back and check out part 1 and part 2 of the series. Subscribe to the channel, that way you know when I've dropped a new video. Like, comment, share it with a buddy, and hopefully I can pass along some tips along the way. So let's jump into the video. This is a stick shift build because, in my opinion, I'm not an automatic guy, and 9 out of the 10 LS swaps that you see, they are automatics. This truck is going to be a street truck. I wanted to keep it fun. It came stock as a straight drive, and I wanted to keep it that way. So I'm going to give you guys my setup from bellhousing back to the rear end. I'm going to throw in part numbers along the way, and hopefully this will help some guys out. All right, before I go into the truck to show you guys the transmission, just wanted to break this down real quick so nobody makes fun of my setup and why I went this route. And simply, I went this route for now was mainly because of budget. It does have an NV3500 in it, which the NV35, it's only rated to hold like 300 torque, I think. I think it'll last a pretty good while for me as long as I am not yanking on it and just putting a lot of power down. For the 6.0, it's not a good transmission setup for it for right now, but you will see why I ended up just continuing to go this route. I didn't want to spend the money on a T56 right now, and that's my goal in the future. I absolutely want to go T56, but I just want you to see how perfect of a fit this was after I took out the 4.3. I mean, everything lined to back up perfectly in the stock location. I did have to change transmission crossmember, but everything else, my shifter is in the same stock location, transmission's in the same location. It might be a little bit higher, but it fit in there perfect. So before you guys make fun, that's why I went this route, and I do plan on switching this out later on to a T56. But as you guys know, those things are like gold anymore, and if anybody wants to donate one to me, I'll gladly throw it in. So anyway, let's get under the truck and I'll show you the setup. It's nothing fancy, but it's got me on the road and I'm rolling. It's working fine for now. So anyway, let's get under the truck. All right, so we're into the truck. As you can see, we've got the long tubes. The long tubes, hopefully you guys can see this good. They clear perfectly fine on the driver's side. Passenger side was more tighter, I guess. I did have to shave just a little bit off around where the starter goes, I mean, barely. I didn't have to shave much at all, but it fit in here perfectly fine with those long tubes. I'll go ahead and cover the transmission crossmember since I'm here. I do have the X pipe in, and hopefully you guys can still see this good. My drive shaft is clearing. It's tight, but with the 3-inch X pipe, it's to be expected, I guess. I'm gonna change out that transmission mount at some point. That's the stock one that came in for now. I've got it shimmed up. Don't laugh and make fun of that, but like I said, I needed to get this truck on the road, and I was trying to do everything I could to do so at the time, and there's a lot of things to clean up. So this is a G-force crossmember. A lot of you guys have probably seen them. I will throw the part number on the screen. I think it was like the RC S10, I think was the part number on it. It's got a massive list of transmissions that it works with. It actually worked great with this. Mounted back into the stock location. I didn't have to drill any holes on this side. I am going to have to drill 2 more holes on the passenger side. But there's still room for the exhaust. And it fits great. So anyway, there's the NV. I'm going to jump up and show you guys the shifter with that, and we'll jump into the clutch here in just a second. So I do have a B&M short shifter in the truck. It came in the truck when I bought it, so definitely still wanting to use that. It looks a lot better than the stock shifter that comes in these trucks. So I don't have the part number for that, but I'm sure if you look up NV3500 B&M short shifter for an S10, you will find what you're after. Like I mentioned when I was underneath the truck, hope you can see this good. I do have a center console, which these are a little bit harder to find if you know S10s, but like I mentioned, it is a perfect fit. I didn't have to cut the floor, didn't have to cut anything. It's lines back up perfectly in the stock position. So anyway, there's that. Let's jump on to the next part. I'm going to cover the slave cylinder that you guys are going to need for this. If you were to go this same setup, I've got my part numbers wrote down here on the computer, so I'm just going to read these off to you. I didn't take a video back when I was installing all that stuff, so I kind of regret not doing that because I'd have some good content now. So anyway, the slave cylinder that I used, it was a Luk brand. It's the part number that I used was the LSC 265B, and I'll add this in the video when I'm putting the video together. That way you guys can follow that better. This was just a stock slave cylinder that came in the S10s that had the 4.3 NV35s in it, and that's what this truck was. It's a stock truck with the 4.3 NV35. So anyway, that was a stock slave cylinder that came with it. I did have to shim the slave cylinder, and if you look up TIC Performance, they have a shim kit that works great. It worked great on this truck. Just make sure you measure that out right and figure out what size shim you need or how many of them you need. So anyway, check out TIC Performance. I have bought a ton of stuff from them for this truck. They are somewhat local to me here in North Carolina, so just a plug for them. TIC Performance is awesome, and eventually when I get to T56 swap this truck, that's where I will be buying all my stuff from. So anyway, one other massive part that I forgot to mention is the clutch setup. Dang, I passed that one up. So I do have a monster clutch in this truck. It's the single disc. It's got a billet steel flywheel. So the transmission's only rated for like 300 torque, but the clutch is rated for 550 rear wheel horsepower. And I guess my mindset along the way was, if the transmission's not going to hold it, I at least should probably put a good clutch in it and just hope for the best. So I did go with a Monster clutch. If you get on Monster's website, they do not specifically have a setup for NV3500. So what I done was I reached out to them, told them what I was building, told them what transmission I had and all that good stuff. And Mike Christopher was his name. He got back in touch with me and we went over everything, and they basically had to, I guess, just build me a flywheel that was going to work. The clutch, I don't know the exact sizes on everything. I didn't compare like what a Camaro or a F-body flywheel or clutch is, but I think the flywheel was the only difference for the NV35. So anyway, Monster, they for sure have a setup. You just got to reach out to them and they will take care of you. That part number on the clutch was S1-1228. And like I said, I'll add these in the video along the way. The bolts that I used for everything, I've used ARP on everything that I could on this truck. For the flywheel, I used ARP. The ARP Flywheel bolt number is 330-2802. Pressure plate, ARP as well. That part number is 134-2201. And we'll jump into the pilot bearing. I did run the GM pilot bearing. That's a super simple install. All this stuff was way easier than what I was expecting it to be a pain, but it really wasn't bad at all. I feel like if you guys would just get on YouTube, kind of watch some other guys, you're going to learn a ton, and just do it yourself. You don't have to pay anybody. You don't have to pay a swap shop to do this stuff. I mean, if you don't have the time and you got all the money in the world, then by all means. But I wanted to build this truck myself and do everything that I could myself. So seriously, you guys could do it. Anyway, let me get back to it. So that pilot bearing part number 1255-7583. The Crossmember I mentioned, that part number was RCS-10. I ordered that directly from GeForce. And I think when I bought the Crossmember, I don't think it said that it would fit for an NV3500. I kind of just looked at it, looked at what I was needing, kind of just like ordered what I needed off their site and just kind of just went to wing it. And I feel like I got lucky and everything lined up as good as it did. So, because I actually reached out to GeForce after I'd got it in and told them, like, hey, this fit great on this truck. This was my setup. And they actually have NV3500 as one of the transmission options under that Crossmember now. So I don't know if that was me talking to them or not, but anyway, that is one option. There's obviously a bunch of other Crossmembers that you can use. There's some like really adjustable ones now. If I ever swap this one out in the future, I might go that route because the GeForce, it is a little pricier, but man, it was great quality. It's powder coated black, very heavy duty, so I don't think I'm ever going to have an issue with it. So my drive shaft, that was another huge luck up on my part, I feel like, because I've mentioned before this truck was a stock 4.3 5-speed truck, and I got lucky with the transmission, lining back up in essentially the same exact stock spot, and same with my drive shaft. I used the drive shaft that came in the truck. It's working okay for right now. Whenever I do a T56 swap, I will probably order me a good drive shaft from somebody. So if you guys have a recommendation on where to order a custom drive shaft, please let me know. I haven't even looked into that much. I know I'm going to get my transmission from Tick, because Tick is the go-to for that top stuff. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. It's starting to rain pretty good out. And my rear end setup, I'm gonna roll back here and show you guys this. It looks so much better, the paint and everything, back when I first got it all together, but the truck's sitting outside for a little bit. It don't look near as good. And so anyway, I do have an 8.5 rear end in this truck, and another lucky part of this truck was just the perfect candidate to swap. I mean, some guys, it only had like 55,000 miles on the truck, and it was a 4.3, just immaculate, just the perfect truck to swap. And I got lucky with it being a 4.3 5-speed truck, and it came with an 8.5 rear end. So if some of you guys will know, I mean, tons of guys go with 8.8 out of an Explorer, and I went and bought an 8.8 to go in this truck, and if this one ever gives out on me, I'll swap in the 8.8, because I guess it's like the 4 9-inches baby brother. But anyway, I've got the 8.5 in this truck. It should hold everything that I ever put to it. It's got a 373 gear in it. So anyway, I'll roll back here, show you the rear end. Maybe later on I'll show some of you guys how to spot out a 7.5 rear end versus an 8.5, because I feel like I see that all the time on some of the S10 pages, is people get it so confused, and there's a big difference in them if you know what you're looking for. So anyway, let's roll into the truck. I'll show you the rear end, and I think that's gonna clear up this video, or I'll wrap up what I was wanting to cover on it. I know it's a little bit long. I hope you guys have stuck around and listened to all of it. I certainly appreciate that, and like I said before, please share it with a buddy. Hopefully it helps out somebody. I know YouTube has been a huge help for me to learn and to just figure out the best route to go for all this stuff. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. I'll show this rear end off real quick, and that should be it for this. I don't know exactly what the next video is going to be yet. I'm probably going to do some quick ones. I've had a lot of guys ask about my wheel and tire setup, so the next video might just be a super quick, just show my wheel and tire setup. These are not the wheels that's going to be on this truck forever. I've got ZR1 replica wheels in the back. They are 17 by 11s, and I actually have some 17 by 9.5s that go on the front, but I've got to do some brake swaps, some suspension fixes, because the 9.5s are hitting my tie rod ends, so I wasn't able to put those on right now. That's why I've got the skinnies on. So anyway, I'm ranting on about the next video. So anyway, maybe maybe wheel and tire setup is next. And once I'm done with that, I'll probably jump into the brakes. I know I've got all the electrical stuff to cover, ECU, the terminator, all the wiring that I used on this truck. So anyway, that's some of the next stuff to come. I'm going to throw in a video of this clutch install. It's a time lapse, so I thought it was pretty cool looking. Like I said, back then I wasn't really videoing a whole lot, which I regret. I should have been videoing every aspect along the way, but so anyway, stick around, watch that, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks. All right, let's get up under the truck. I want to show this rear end off. It's dirty right now, so please don't judge. Anyway, I'm going to try to show you guys really quick how to spot out an 8.5. Just very fast, because I might do this later on in another video. Your main giveaway is, this is larger than the 7.5. You can kind of see how this is bigger right here, and then it tapers down. So that's another giveaway. And then here's your main giveaway. You got a square notch here. Your 7.5s have like it's almost like a horn that comes off. So there's your difference. You can see up through there, there's the 8.5, the drive shaft, my X-Pipe. There's the Black Widows. Drive shaft barely clears. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Tune in for the next video.